Hey there, Alan Matthews here from Classical Guitar Shed. Let's talk D chords. This is our D chord. We're going to talk all about it, how to practice it, how to get it quickly in your fingers and switch to all your other favorite chords with it. If you enjoy this, please do subscribe to this channel and also press the little bell for notifications. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. D chord. With the D chord, looking at our grid here, the lines up and down are the strings, side to side are the frets, and the dots are where we place our fingers. If you'll notice, we have X's and O's up at the very top of this grid, and we don't play, that's the X, the low string, the 6th string, or the 5th string. The 5th string won't sound as bad, but the low 6th string is going to sound really bad. So we start with the 4th string, and that is open. Then we have our 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd, and then the 1st fret up on the 1st string on the 2nd fret. Now, I like to think of this chord as a triangle. Boom, boom, boom. It's just a triangle shape in the hand, and that just makes it easier to remember for me. It's a triangle or an arrow pointing this way. So whenever you first learn a new chord, it's great to do this. Wiggle your fingers, put it back on, wiggle your fingers, put it back on, wiggle your fingers, put it back on. Now, as you're doing this, a couple of things to keep in mind. Your wrist angle, you want to get your elbow out away from your body so that you don't have to do this and have a extreme angle in your wrist. You don't want any of this business. You want to keep your thumb behind your fingers so that it's all nice and strong. If you were to carry that away, then it would be like this. That's a strong hand position. The wrist is fairly straight. It's very straight. With the forearm, you put that back there, really nice and solid. If your neck is very low like this, your thumb's going to want to come up, which is not great because then if you want to change to something else, you're going to have to do a big motor movement. So get your neck up in the air, stick a throw pillow or a guitar support under there, or use a strap. So this is the D chord. It's one of the most popular guitar chords. It sounds great. You've heard it in a million jillion songs, and now you'll be hearing it in your own practice as well. So a couple of ways that people go wrong with this chord, besides getting the wrist angles, is keeping the side of the index finger glued to the guitar on the bottom of the neck right here. We don't want to have that as a habit to where we just always, you can very quickly get into it's kind of a security blanket. It's my binky, I don't want to let go of it. Instead, give yourself some space in there. There needs to be some space in your fingers back in there. And so don't let this part of your finger touch the side of the neck. Not ever, but as a general rule, not in this chord. So as you do this then, look at the angle at which my fingers are coming into the guitar. We want to angle it like this. We don't want to go too flat, coming straight in like this, because we have more than one finger on the 2nd fret. We have 2 fingers on the 2nd fret. And so to get them both right up by the fret, that's one of the key ingredients to playing beautiful chords, is getting your fingers right behind the fret. And so to do that, we need to angle just a little bit so that those fingers can comfortably get there. Any of the fingers, if it's absolutely straight, then something is funny. So if you're playing like this and your first finger's straight, something's funny. Same thing with this 3rd finger. If that is very straight, then chances are you're too far over there and something funny is happening. So those are the main things besides wrist angle. One more thing is that the 3rd finger on the 2nd string can lay over and mute out the 1st string. So we don't want that because then it'll sound really bad. Instead, we want that to be a nice coming in fairly straight down on that 2nd string so that everything is really clear. And you can just do that playing each note at a time. Oftentimes if you play the strum, it'll sound great because anything that is metered out will just be covered by the other strings ringing out. So instead, play each note at a time. Lovely. And then listen for each one ringing out. If your fingers are too far back on the frets, then it'll buzz, yikes. And so get them right up by the fret. So other common chords that this switches to. One of the most common is G. And so you can go back and forth between G. It shares the 3rd string or I'm sorry, the third finger. So you can keep that one on there. Another very common one that D could go to is C. And so you can practice going to C and back and forth as well. Others are the A chords, so A major. However you play your A major. Also A7. So going back and forth, when you are practicing back and forth with chords, notice what finger plays first whenever you play your D chord. Is it 1, 3, 2? Is that how the order of which you press the frets? If so, you can switch that up and change it. Especially if you already know another chord and you're now working on the D chord, let's say you know the C, and you always do your C chord in a particular way, 3, 2, 1 for instance, then change that up as well. And so just throw wrenches, just jumble everything. And so that way it'll be constantly challenging for you and you will then learn faster. Now when you're actually playing it, if you're playing a piece and you just need to get to the chord, don't think about all that, just get there as fast as you can. And so then that's not the time to do this. But in actual practice, when you're practicing, then make it challenging for yourself. You always want it to be a slight struggle. You want it to feel like it's hard in your head, or else it's not really great practice. It needs to feel challenging. If it's too easy, then you're just playing, you're not really practicing. So this is the D chord. It's a glorious chord. You'll see it in tons of pieces, and it plays nicely with many others. So please enjoy practicing the D chord. If you're out and about, then you can do it on your arm switching as well, and that's just going to accelerate your learning as well and get you faster at playing the guitar. And regardless of what style you're playing, be it classical guitar or rock or jazz or anything else, then the D chord is going to come in super handy, and you will certainly use it regardless of what type of music you play. So enjoy that. Please subscribe to this channel, and we'll do it again soon. Bye-bye.